Today on the Business Traveler Show, we're thrilled to be joined by Anita Moreau, a trailblazing leader in the travel industry and founder and CEO of Black Travel Summit. Anita's work has been instrumental in creating a vibrant community that celebrates and empowers Black travelers worldwide. Anita, it is great to have you here on the show, and congratulations so far on all of your success. As the founder of Black Travel Summit, I am curious about one thing right out of the gate. So what was it that inspired you to actually start the Black Travel Summit?
So I'm from London, right? And traveling is almost a rite of passage for us. So I started traveling at the age of 7 years old. Like many Black travelers, over the years, I have had many experiences where I've been reminded of my Blackness, right? This kind of led me down this path to studying archaeology. So I'm an archaeologist by trade and have continuously explored ways of promoting the global Black diaspora, primarily through cultural heritage, but now through travel, because I've just grown this immense passion and love for it. So I started an online marketplace initially in 2018, felt the need to shift from an online marketplace to a conference in 2019, and Black Travel Summit was born.
You know, you just said something that I was like, yes, you're right about that. It is probably a rite of passage for so many people to travel, but that's not everyone's reality.
Yeah.
There's so many people that don't get the opportunity
Exactly.
to do this. Do you feel while having a summit like this, it kind of opens up the door or starts the rumblings, the conversations that, why don't we make this something that is very normal?
Particularly in our community, right? Travel is always seen as this inaccessible thing, right? And for many people it is, like you've mentioned, it is. It can be daunting. It can be unaffordable for some as well.
Absolutely.
Because our culture stems from outside of where we were raised. It was very important for us to be able to teach our family members, my younger siblings, etc., about that, right? About that part of themselves. And the only way to do that is by traveling to these places.
Because the name, Black Travel Summit, do you feel that you are opening the doors for everyone and anyone?
So the Black Travel Summit, right? And this is a question that I get all the time, and I love answering it, because Black Travel Summit, the intention behind the name is to promote and highlight the achievements of people within the Black travel community, right?
Which, by the way, that space should be given, and the flowers should be given to those.
Yes, of course, absolutely.
Let's start by that.
Of course, absolutely, yes. One thing that we want to make sure people know is the Black community is very diverse, right? We know this. So it's not just in America. Obviously, I'm from Europe, born and raised in Europe. We exist in countries across the globe, in South America, in the Caribbean, etc. So this is really us being intentional and saying, okay, this is this global Black diaspora that we're tapping into, because this is a community that needs to be recognized. But at the same time, we've been excluded too long to be exclusive, right? To not be inclusive. So it's really more so a stage or a platform, so to speak, for everyone in the community wanting to collaborate and connect with this group, right?
Yeah.
So it's not just, hey, it's only Black travelers or Black travel professionals invited. No, we want everyone to come. Diversity is important, and that's a way for us to do it.
Networking is extremely difficult for so many. I will be honest and say for myself, it becomes difficult to just go out and like say, hi, how are you? How can we work together, collaborate? But that's exactly what you guys are doing. You're giving everyone that platform to say, let's talk.
That's our primary ethos, I want to say, because connections are powerful. We wouldn't be where we are today if it were not for the connections made throughout our journey, and for someone to say, I believe in you, right? So we believe that it's truly important to foster this space, this ecosystem where people can connect with one another, and to just be able to generate that true human, authentic connection.
Anita, your company is fairly new when it comes to how long, right, historically you guys have been around. You have grown so much. Last year you held a summit, which was extremely successful. You had great speakers. You had so many people attend. This year you have a new one. What have you learned from that summit last year that you are going to change for this year and to incorporate?
We were intentional about doing something smaller to begin with. We know sometimes it takes time to build momentum, and each and every event we have learned so much. We continue to learn, and we know that nobody knows everything. The more you learn and know, the more you realize you don't know, right? So what we have learned, particularly from last year, is that there's so much more work to do, and there is definitely a need and a space for something like this, particularly from the experiences we've had with attendees and speakers. People have come to tears in front of us just saying, you know what, we needed this. I'm so happy to have been here, to be able to experience this.
So let's get to the good nitty-gritty things of it. Who do you guys have this year lined up for speakers, and what can we expect?
So we actually have a strategic partnership with the Black Travel Alliance. So Martinique Lewis, who is the Executive Director of Black Travel Alliance, will be joining us and sharing some updates on new Black travel data that is going to be released at the summit. We're going to have speakers like Jubril Agoro. We're going to have speakers like Ashley Company, like Diva Green, plenty of creators, plenty of professionals in this space as well. Javier Wallace is also one of them. He's a tour operator, just kind of sharing Black stories, and just a ton of amazing individuals. I think it's going to be a really, really exciting event this year.
So looking ahead, as you think overall as a company, what would you say that are some of the things that you're keeping an eye on that are your target goals?
From year to year, they definitely shift.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
It's always been our goal to connect with as many collaborators as possible. Hyatt has just been one of those brands that have been instrumental in our success. We may have succeeded, but not as quickly as we have with their support. Again, Black Travel Alliances as well. So it's always one of our goals to be able to connect with as many partners as we can inside the tourism, travel and tourism / hospitality industry, but also within our communities as well. And it's always a goal as well for us to be able to highlight those people who may not have been highlighted before, whose stories we may not have heard before. It's amazing and it's great to be able to include people that may bring the crowd out, but it's also important for us to hear the stories of people that may not have had an opportunity to speak before.
For those that can't make it out this year, can't travel, is there a way that they can still kind of see and take part of the summit?
Absolutely, there's ways to be able to take part in, and we're going to be creating some sessions that are going to be available for viewing afterwards. There's definitely going to be a lot of content that we're going to be capturing and ways to include the community outside of that as well.
Anita, thank you so much for your time.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
being here on the Business Traveler Show.
Thank you.